What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Justin Wenzel Podcast. On this show, we like to have guests that have a story to tell. And typically going from just rock bottom all the way up to where they are today, to where they can share their journey with other people and help other people who are also struggling. Today, we have an amazing guest, a coach in JWX. JT, what's up, dog?
How you doing, man? Glad to be here. I'm excited.
It's wild. You picked up and you just moved to Huntington.
Yep. It's beautiful here. You can't beat the weather. Southern California, if you ain't been here, you should get here.
And before you were in Wisconsin?
I was in Wisconsin, yes. Okay. Miserable and cold.
Miserable and cold to beautiful and paradise, huh?
Yes.
But you're originally from here.
I'm originally from here, Lakewood, California, born and raised. My wife is from Wisconsin. That's how we ended up over there.
Okay.
Yep.
And growing up here, I mean, what was your get down? What did you play sports?
So yeah, I grew up in a fairly large family. I have a real brother and a real sister, and then I have a bunch of stepbrothers. There's 4 of us. So collectively, there were 7 of us. So
wow.
I played sports. I was heavy into football. I was heavy into skateboarding, BMX, things like that. I really loved football, but we kind of moved around too much, so I could never get in with a little group and run it through. So I really picked up individualized extreme sports. That was my jam. Skateboarding, BMX, things of that nature, I really have a passion for.
Yeah, I think when you do move around a lot, you do tend to gravitate towards being a musician, individualized sports,
Yeah.
Skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing if you're living out here. And it's pretty common, I once heard Daniel Tosh say something about, what did he say? Everyone with a single parent has a skateboard.
Yeah.
and I was just thinking my parents were always gone and I gravitated towards skateboarding and we moved around a lot too. But I can definitely agree with you. It is hard to get in with a team when you're always moving, yeah. Right? It's challenging because there's cliques and things like that. And I think being alone a lot caused me to go towards skateboarding and stuff like that and punk rock and whatnot. Yep. So that's I can definitely feel you there. So tell me about childhood. I mean, what did that look like?
So childhood, when I was 2 months old, my mom kicked dad out the house. He was addicted to cocaine. And then from there, my mom had us to raise, and she was a single mother at the time. So my grandma really watched us a whole lot. Great lady. My grandpa was sick. He had diabetes. So then grandma would have to watch us and take care of grandpa, and my dad was already in and out of the house, in prison, doing other things. I'm the youngest, so just loving and nurturing, but a whole lot of chaos and then things that you see that you don't put together till later in life.
Like what?
Just the struggles of, taking care of me and the bills and all those, how other people's actions affect, right? I feel like my grandma would take care of us to the best of her knowledge, but then it was almost like she felt guilty almost for what my dad did. So then,
that was her mother?
Yeah.
Or his mother?
Yeah,
Brother,
correct,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's tough.
So then later in life, you put those things together and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Kudos to her, but just those things that you put together later that you have appreciation for.
Do you think the generation gap from grandmother to grandson makes it a lot more difficult in raising?
Oh yeah, grandma was 1950s, and then that generation gap is insane. Just technology, morals, values, principles, how the world has evolved so rapidly, for sure. And then having to take care of my grandpa, and then, I was not a good kid at all. I was constantly in and out of trouble, fights, jail, juvenile hall, you name it, I've fucking done it. So she showed up every time.
What do you think, was the cause? For me, I was in trouble a lot too. Yeah. And a lot of times it was to prove myself, validation, things like that.
Yeah.
or even just to get noticed? What do you think it was for you?
I think it's a combination of those things, right? Like I was angry that I didn't have a dad. I didn't understand that. I would see kids come to school and they got their fucking dad, and you know, like, look at this fucking dude, like, fuck you, you know. So I was angry about that, and then no one had the time to show me how to express my feelings in the correct way. So like you said, I would seek validation elsewhere. Like, okay, I'm just gonna fight and act out, and all of it was a cry for help, really. But that's, you know, no one. They did the best they could with their resources.
Right. Totally. I think too, you know, when you're in like, how old are you?
33.
33. Okay. So for us, like being in the skateboard world, right? Like we want to act out, right?
Yeah.
Like that's natural. Back then, right? Like Jackass was a big part of our lives,
huge,
right? So like
yeah.
we were very like, you know, impressionable to guys like Bam Margera and Steve-O. And by the way, I just saw Bam was on Hopeaholics, which was pretty cool to see.
That's great. I seen he's doing good now.
It looks like it, yeah, for sure. But you know that was a lot. I can relate to like that side of things being in there. Like, you know, we wanted to be extra extreme. We wanted to push the envelope and things like that. But there were some of my friends, and I'm sure you know some of the peers that you were around that did that as well. But they were able to pull it back.
Yeah. No,
How'd that work out for you?
It didn't work. I had people, you know, it turned into, like you said, right? Like, I grew up on, like, Baker skateboarding videos. It's just, like, hard rock, punk rock, drugs and fucking skateboarding, like, lawlessness. Like, so that was, like, a huge influence. And then that lifestyle leads down a path that just never ends up good, or very few people escape it in a healthy manner. So it didn't. I ended up with drug addictions, you know.
What was the first drug?
The first drug that I ever did, it sounds crazy, but the first thing I did meth before I did anything.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you when you first tried meth?
God, I was in middle school, and by the time I was 16, I was full blown addicted to heroin, full withdrawals, like, yeah.
IV?
IV, yeah. It started off as smoking, and then, you know, it progressed into IV fairly quickly.
Wow. So you skipped the weed, you skipped...
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Tell me, what was who did you do meth with the first time? Was it an older friend?
No, this girl we used to hang out with, I don't even remember the kid's name, but he was like one of those like emo kids, you know, the super tight pants back in the day with the little
bangs.
Yeah, with the bangs, and
parents
fucking
don't understand.
You know, everyone's parents were gone or busy or whatever. We were hanging out at her house, and he was a little bit older than us, and he was like, "Hey, you want to try this?" And he busted out the good old light bulb trick, smoking out the light bulb, and
wicked. Yeah,
I didn't really put two and two together, or really even know what it was, but that was never my jam. I didn't like it. I don't like uppers. They're not my thing. But yeah, that.
But you were 14?
Yeah, I was 14. Yeah.
Man, like what? Like I've never done meth.
Oh, I was.
At least I haven't done it on purpose, right? Like it might have been mixed in like some Molly or something like that. But I've never smoked meth. So, and I've only heard. I mean, obviously, I
was like paranoid, like instantaneously, like roaming around. I remember like going home and laying in my bed, and I could feel my heart like do, like it was gonna pop out of my chest, and I'm like, fuck this, like why do people do this?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then what so you started looking at more opioids?
Yeah, so like I told you, my grandpa and my dad were both, my dad had cancer, and then my grandpa had all kinds of health problems from diabetes, overweight, you know, not taking care of your health. So I started taking some of their pain medication and experimenting with it. And then,
what was the first one you took?
Morphine, and then I would take their morphine, and then they would get oxycodones and Opanas, which is like a different variation of an opiate, and then I started like crushing it up and then mixing it in with my weed and smoking it that way. And then when my dad got to like the very end, they started giving him fentanyl, like lollipops they have. So I started taking those before fentanyl was like even a thing, like in 2008. And, you know, thank God I survived that. But yeah, just that progression. And then that was probably around the time where Oxycontins were really heavy. And then that whole thing switched up. That company got indicted or whatever, right? And they couldn't make oxys no more. So then that's when like Mexican heroin came into the neighborhood, and you're gonna chase it one way or another.
100%. No, definitely. And coming off of, there's really, man, no more desperate situation than coming off of opiates.
Yeah.
And you went straight from morphine to oxy. Like there was no Percocet, no Norco situation.
Straight to it.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah.
So then we got into IV.
I got into IV around that time frame, like 16. I ended up going to juvenile hall, unfortunately. I was selling drugs, just doing whatever, just living that lifestyle. And whatever, kid took my weed, and like you said, wanted validation, wanted whatever. So I ended up robbing the kid. I ended up hurting the kid very badly, 7 staples. And then cops came to the house, scooped me up, charged me with armed robbery, great bodily injury, took me off. First offer.
You get a strike when you're underage like that? Or?
No, they wanted to try me as an adult because I was at that like age limit where they could like say that like I absolutely knew what I was doing, which I absolutely did know what I was doing. But like I said, grandma always comes to bat, no matter if you're right or wrong. She's just that lady who, I'm gonna tell you you're a dumbass in private, but I'm stand up for you in public. So she showed up, hired a lawyer. My aunt is an FBI agent, so she had a good lawyer. She's like, here, hire this guy. He came through, whatever, a lot of wasted time and money that they shouldn't have to put up for someone like me, but they did because they loved me. And we ended up going from 20 years down to a few months.
Okay. But that probably actually didn't do you any good.
No, it didn't. That was like, the top of the stairway, and I tripped and was like, oh shit, but that didn't stop me from going down to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because a lot of people, when they're going through what should be your rock bottom, and you're young.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't know that that's really rock bottom. You just got bailed out by grandma. Right?
Pretty much.
So if anything, you're thinking like, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, for a minute, I was like super appreciative and like.
Well, of course, when you're behind bars, you're going to feel that way, right? And when you have to go see the judge and you have like support in the moment, but as soon as it goes away, and all of a sudden you're free again.
Yeah,
that's a slap on the wrist.
It is, and then you're left to your own means again, right? And your own feelings again, and
back
you don't
in the
know
environment that you were originally in.
Yeah.
So then what?
So then moved into grandma's house.
Let me ask you this real quick. So you must have been detoxing in juvenile hall?
Oh, yeah.
So you were loaded all the way through your hearings and all of that stuff?
What do you mean?
Like leading up to juvenile hall? Did you?
Yeah.
So
I was in juvenile hall, incarcerated the whole time at all the proceedings. So like when they first brought me in, like, withdrawal in the jail. Like, not pretty. You don't get no medical help or nothing. You're not getting acute detox. Like, you're just going to feel like shit in the concrete.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
So you get out, back to grandma?
I get out, I go back to grandma's, and then, I might string together a few little good days, good run, good month, say I'm going to do better. But again, like, I haven't changed my environment. I haven't changed my habits.
Same friends,
same bullshit, right? So eventually it catches right back up with me. And by then, like, it's rampant in Southern California. Like, opiates are going fucking wild. So back on it. My brother actually gets addicted to it with me. And then that starts like a 2-3 year spiral of us doing dope and selling dope, and then next thing you know, grandma's house gets raided.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
How'd that look?
I was in the kitchen eating cookie dough, and I could hear, like, it was like a movie, right? Like I hear the helicopter, and I kept like looking up, and I'm like, is this shit gonna fucking land on the house? Like, why is it hovering for so long? You're in Southern California, the ghetto bird's always out. It's a normal thing.
Sure.
But when it's hovering over your house for that long, like, you know better. And my brother had left, and he had left the scale at the house. So my gut told me that something was wrong. And then next thing you know, just boom, door flings open, red dots pointed at me, dudes in masks and guns. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, yeah, that's the real deal. We've graduated.
Was there anything indicating that you were going to get raided, or did you?
Oh
have
a tip no, I wouldn't. I wasn't like, you know. We would go out and, you know, we'd go serve people or, you know, go pick up, and, you know, we would have to make 3 lefts because there would be a car following us. But, you know,
okay,
your habit doesn't give a fuck.
No, not at all. Wow. So you get raided. Do they get anything?
Yeah. So they get a pistol, precursor chemicals to cut the heroin, $50,000 in cash. Like, they get the whole 9 yards, everything.
And then what?
So then we go. Grandma again comes, gets a lawyer, does her, God bless her, does what she does. So we pay for a lawyer. The lawyer must have like known somebody or something, and he was like, "Yo, don't worry about it. Just stay out of trouble." So I'm assuming he knew someone at the clerk's office and it got filed into the trash can. Like, nothing ever came of it. But so my brother's like, whatever, I'm done. I'm out of here. So then I go pull all the court documents and I go read to see how they were gathering evidence because I'm just that stupid. And then I set back up shop again, but I just do it in a manner where they can't gather evidence. My brother's like, fuck you, I'm out, I'm done, whatever. So
I get clean?
Yeah. So he gets his shit together and I'm still fucking running and gunning, and next thing you know, they come again. This time, I'm in the garage shooting dope and I could like hear the noise and I go like look through the window, same shit. But this time they're like, we're compromised, because they want to be like not fucking seen or you blew their plan. So they fucking scramble, shit's everywhere. They come in and I had gone like full blown psycho. So like I would put the dope like super hidden in like a tube and an old cocking gun like thrown up in the garage shelf with all like the old shit. And I had just cooked up dope in there and shot it up. So the whole room probably smelled like dope. So they come, and I used to take the money this time, and I would open the inner tube of my bike and roll it into hundreds and then seal it and pump the tires back up. So the bike tire was just lined with money. They pull me out. They don't find nothing. They're like, we're bringing the dog in. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. In my brain, I'm like, I'm fucked regardless, right?
Right.
I'm rolling the dice. Roll the fucking dice. The dog comes in and doesn't find it. But they get me on their 72-hour hold, but then they see my brother. And they're like, what are you doing here? Like, last time we raided, like, you should be smoked, bro. You should be in prison right now. They go back because the statute of limitations wasn't up and refile on that old case, and he goes to prison.
Really?
Yeah.
And you didn't?
No, because they didn't have nothing on me. And so I'm basically the reason that my brother went to prison. Like, yeah, he did, but we both did what we did. But if I wouldn't have kept selling dope again, they would have never came back to the house. They would have never had any reason to look back into the case and be like, what the fuck happened?
How much time did he do?
He got 3 with half, so he only did 1.5 years. Again, good lawyer, pleaded down, whatever. He got a sweet deal out of it.
Did he hold anything against you?
We did for a while, yeah. We had a very rocky relationship, but we don't anymore, no.
And so how does that work out when it's years later that they reopen a case?
As long as the statute of limitations is not expired, they've never charged you with it, they have all the evidence, they could go file it whenever the fuck they want.
I see. Interesting.
And then...
And he's doing good at the time?
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing good. So
what's the point?
I mean, to them, it's just a jersey number, right? Like, that's their career. How many people have I put in jail? And when we go to trial, how many people have I lost against, right? Like, it's like a football player. That's all they care about is the number. They don't care, like, hey, you're doing good.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
But you're free. He's locked up.
He's locked up. Yeah, he goes. I'm free. And that doesn't stop me. Like, Not in the slightest. I just keep running and gunning. I would say from there is when it really got bad. Like extremely bad. Because then I was like, this is no longer sustainable in this method, right? I'm either gonna go to prison or something's gonna happen. So then I start robbing drug dealers, which is even worse. And I do that for a long, I don't know, maybe another year or two, probably into my 20s at some point. And then that's no longer sustainable either. But I'm down. I'm shooting like 4 or 5 grams of heroin a day, like enough to kill a small village by myself. Like,
so what does that look like, robbing a drug dealer?
I would get whatever, someone, I would buy off of them, inquire trust in them until they would bring me, enough. And then I'd be like, hey, meet me over here or whatever, and then pull up and pull out a gun and empty your pockets.
Fuck.
Yeah. And eventually I'm like, I'm gonna get fucking killed or I'm gonna kill somebody, right? And then I'm really fucking fucked. And like, not only that, like, I'm robbing people that like, there's no coming back from. Like, they'll find your family. So I'm like, fuck this. So then I just feel so like low self-worth at that point, right? Like, I've isolated everyone in my family. Like, I don't want you to talk to you. I don't want you to see me like this. Like, I got fucking track marks up and down my arm. I look like a walking fucking skeleton. But I can't get the dope. Like, you can put a gun to my head at that point and be like, it's one or the other, yeah. Shoot me, because I'm not fucking stopping. And then I become homeless, like, kind of by choice, because I don't want people to rely on me and my family. I don't want people to let me down no more. I just want to use my dope, like, just leave me alone. So I actually start panhandling on the side of the freeway and living on the side of the freeway.
Right out here? 405 or?
Right on Lakewood in the 91.
It's crazy how many addicts go homeless by choice.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like natural, like that they just,
It is. It's sustainable. Like, they could do it. They learn to live like that, and it doesn't bother them. It's like quiet, and like, I lived in a community on the side of the freeway with so many of them that probably never get it out, but there'd be services that would come in, right? Like, to help them, and like, hey, we'll take you to rehab right now. We'll sponsor you. We'll scholarship you. And like, a lot of them just don't want the help.
Yeah. No, I met a handful of people that were like, oh, I'm totally fine being homeless.
Yeah.
I totally don't mind it.
No.
And it's funny because when you live out here, you can kind of see it too. You're like, well, I mean,
they're everywhere.
It's not terrible. Like, the weather's good. I mean, but being homeless anywhere else would be miserable.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's good, so it's literally perfect for them. And then the politics and other things kind of
serves the purpose.
Serves them, yeah.
So how long did that last?
I was probably on the side of that freeway from 20 to 23. 23 is when I got clean, and in that whole period, like, go to rehab, right? Like, people would show up on the side of the freeway who meant something to me or whatever, and hey, can you get it together? And like the story you always hear, like, I went to rehab for them, not for me. And it never worked. I went 3 times, but the last time is like the time that I placed the phone call, like, myself. That wasn't the last time I quit using, but that was like, when you go to AA or NA, like, if it works, it works. But regardless, like, that seed's fucking planted in you. It's up to you to water it. So all those little times I went, the seed was there. I just never tended to my garden, is really what I got out of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you make what prompted that call?
I don't know. I just got fucking sick and tired of living like that. Like, it was eventually like, it's fucking tiring. And I knew that, like, I was worth more. I had, like, I'm a smart kid. Like, I have a lot to offer. So I'm aware of that, right? But then I just got fucking tired of it, and a lot of people died in the process, right? Like a lot of my friends, like I got a picture at home on my refrigerator of like all the kids I grew up with, and there's probably 2 of us left on the picture that are alive. Everyone else overdosed.
That's tough.
Yeah, it is. So then like eventually like...
So let me ask you this though, because when you're like deep in it, and this is actually for me, it was like I wasn't ready to, at one point I was ready to kill myself.
Yeah.
But when you're really in it and you're like, man, this could be the dose that puts me out.
Yeah.
But you're like, if it does, it does.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to live.
They do.
I mean, even when you're in like your most like suicidal point of your life,
yeah,
you still like you want something. And if you're in it drug wise, right? Like there's got to be some sort of glimpse of hope. What brought you back? Like in that moment.
In that moment, like I said, it wasn't the last time I quit using. I just got tired of fucking dealing with it. And then I started like really questioning like fate in life, and like I'm a true believer that God's with me like at all times, even through like the whole fucking process. So then I started questioning like all of these people that I hold dearly never got this opportunity. And then I say I love you, but then I do the same thing. That's disrespect. Like, I have the opportunity.
So, treatment one more time?
Treatment, yeah. So I call Pat Moore. I've been to Pat Moore in Costa Mesa 3 times. I don't even think they're there anymore.
When you mentioned that, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
Anytime at Charlie Street?
No. I've been to Charlie Street for meetings and stuff, though. But yeah.
Brutal, huh?
Yeah, it is. Like, that's, like, luckily for me, my stepdad is a longshoreman, and I'm on his insurance at the time.
Okay.
So I'm going to Pat Moore, right? Like I've gone to a lot of really, really good rehabs. They're like top notch, right? But I never took the blessing.
Yeah, it don't matter how good or bad the rehab is if you're not ready for it. Charlie Street is brutal. I mean,
yeah,
I never went there, but I've been there a number of times, and I'm supposed to speak there in like a month or 2. I've donated. They love me at Charlie Street.
It's a great
anyone that wears
place.
a 13, size 13, and that's a big dude.
Yep.
They love it. We send I send bags
your old
and
clothes
boxes
and
of
stuff.
clothes. Not even old clothes. There's stuff with tags still on it. Some big ass dude at Charlie Street is swagging the fuck out. He's
Ballin'.
like, he's got like brand new Lululemon pants on. He's fucking chilling. But yeah, when I went there the first time, it was like holy shit. Like, and I was already 2 years sober, so yep. I went in there and I was like, man, I'm so thankful I didn't have to, go there. But they're doing great things for people.
They are, but like a place like that's like not super high end, they really have to vet who takes that bed. Like, are you actually fucking serious? Because if you're here lollygagging, like that seat could be filled with someone who's got a fire under their ass that we could save their life.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so Pat Moore, is this where you meet your wife?
I meet my wife there. Yeah. So we go in.
And you guys are both in treatment.
We're both in treatment. Yeah.
Yikes.
So she comes, horrible. Don't ever do that. Like the chances it works out are fucking slim to none, but it did work out, but I don't encourage it.
It's gotta be tough.
Yeah, it was tough. So I meet her, whatever. She's from
What
Wisconsin.
was her DOC?
Heroin too.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever. We get to know each other. She actually pursues me. I don't pursue her. I'm just fucking introverted, my hoodie up, fucking leave me alone, like whatever. So we hit it off. I kind of give her the time of day, which isn't really like me. I don't give many people the time of day. Like I got my own battles to fight. For some reason I did. Something told me to. I liked her, whatever. It worked. We start writing letters back and forth, and
she goes back to Wisconsin.
No, so we're there the whole time together.
Oh, okay.
And then like it's
You're
like
writing letters.
It's
in
like
treatment.
dorm. Yeah, we're like sliding notes back and forth to each other.
Wow.
Yeah. So then that's frowned upon. So eventually we get kind of like caught up by the administration staff and whatever.
You guys sneaking around and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the guy, he's like, I'm gonna give you a chance or whatever. So he gives me multiple chances, and eventually he's like, if I catch you again, like, just have your shit ready, like you're out the door or whatever. Yep. So we get caught again, writing letters, doing whatever, and I got all my shit packed because you're a man of your word, I'm a man of my word. Like, I knew what the fuck I was doing. So fucking he comes in the room, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you told me last time. And he's like, oh, I like you. I'm gonna give you another chance just because like the way you conducted yourself. So fuck that one up too. So whatever. Okay. they end up kicking me out at that point, and then they kicked her out, and my mom let her come live with us, and fucking it was just a slow progression. We fell in love with each other, and she has like 3 or 4 more months like progression sober wise in front of me, and I kept fucking getting high, and then like she went back to her family over like Christmas, and I ended up fucking getting high, and then like I got a needle mark in my hand. She's like, what are you doing? Like, and I'm like, I was just shaving my hand, like, don't worry. And she's like, shut the fuck up. Like, why are you lying to me? And then I keep going, just keep fucking not holding myself accountable. So eventually I like try to like push her away, right? Like everything in life, like, you go away, I'll stay over here and be a loser by myself. And she wasn't fucking having that. She showed up to grandma's house and made me flush my dope down the fucking toilet. And, I actually fucking did it. And most people, I would have told you to fuck off. Like, most people don't show up like that. Like, there was just something in her, and she's like, yo, like, she could see more in me than I could fucking see in myself. And I've never had no one like at that level.
And she would call you on your shit.
Oh, she would hold me like straight accountable, and so I got a few days clean. I had like a week, I think, and she walks in. We're at my mom's house. She walks in the back patio, and she has a pregnancy test. Like, hey, I'm pregnant, and that was rock bottom. Because I could promise you that like I don't think that was rock bottom, right? Like, if she wouldn't tell me that she was pregnant, like, I wouldn't be here having this interview with you. I'd be dead or in prison. Like, that probably wasn't the end of my circus.
Really?
No, I don't think so. Not at all. So then, like, my dad was never in my life. And like I told you, that always bothered me. Like, how can a man do that, right? And so that, like, immediately, that was like, I'm not fucking doing that to my kid. Like, I'm going to be present.
So that was your, like, main wake-up call?
Yeah, for sure.
Was it from there?
That was it from there.
Really?
Yeah, never looked back.
And did you have to go back to treatment, or did you just kick it?
I went to fucking meetings religiously, got a fucking sponsor, therapy, that whole thing, right? Like I said, they had planted the seed, so I had the fucking tools.
Yeah,
I know what I needed to fucking do. I just never did it. So then...
Yeah, it's funny. You see people that go to rehab like 10, 11 times, and you're like, at what point, like, how many times do you have to learn about, like, your coping mechanisms? And, I mean, it's always the same song and dance. Yeah. And it is that repetition that causes us to get clean and stay clean.
Yeah.
But, at what point is it like, okay, just go to a meeting, right? And start going to meetings and get a sponsor and start working the steps if you're going to be a 12-step kind of guy, right? It's just hard to do it by yourself.
It is hard to do it by yourself, but, when you find that non-negotiable rock bottom, you're going to fucking do it one way or another.
How old are you then?
I was 23.
So 23. Okay. So she gets pregnant.
Yeah.
And you're what? Did you have jobs ever leading up to it? Not a single thing.
No, I got no resume. I got no fucking work history.
No military.
No nothing. Right? Like, I'm behind.
High school diploma.
Yeah. I got my high school. I graduated a year early.
Okay.
So like, I'm actually smart. I just never like fucking fostered it, or no one ever nudged me along. So Yeah, so then I'm like, fuck, I gotta get a job, right? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta live like
You're
a
gonna
normal...
be daddy pretty soon.
Yeah, so that happens.
What was your first job? Your first
First
real job?
Walmart. I worked at Walmart. I worked in the back room. I used to unload the truck. And I did that for probably a few months. And then I became the supervisor of the back room. And then it was in the Long Beach Town Center, which is fucking not the nicest part of town. Okay. So, and if you know anything about people who work in warehouses, they're usually not the nicest fucking people with the best skill sets in life.
Probably struggling with their own
issues. Correct. Yeah, and I'm like trying to manage these people, and I'm dealing with my own shit, right? And fucking whatever. Next thing you know, one day I clock in and like, kid in the back room is getting beat up by a bunch of gang members who just like walk back there. And I'm like, whatever. So I started like plucking him off this guy. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, if you want to beat him up, like at least let him get a one-on-one. Like go in the fucking parking lot. And whatever. They're like, we're going to fucking find you. We're going to kick your ass. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Fuck you. I'm here to do my job. Next day I clock in for fucking work and fucking toot. Like, oh shit, like they weren't lying. So we end up fighting in the middle of the fucking parking lot in my Walmart, gear. But luckily, the store manager was like, he had half a leg. He got IED'd in Iraq. His name was John. Fucking great guy. And whatever, we end up scrapping. The whole management's like, we're fucking firing you. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, I got swung on and I defended myself. He's like, just don't say nothing. I got you covered. So he lets me keep my job. He shuffles it away, does whatever he needs to do, lets me keep my job. We keep working there, and then I don't like it. I fucking hate it. So
never imagine Walmart warehouse is not exciting.
No. So then I don't have any other option, right? I got nothing. And, my wife sees me come home every day and fucking I hate it. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking quit. I'm going to go find a new job, a better job. And on faith, hope and faith, she's always been that woman. Go for it. Like, whatever your heart fucking desires, I know you're capable of it. Like, we'll figure it out. So I walked in and like, I quit. I'm out. And then I went and got another job at another warehouse in Torrance, but that was it's like a small family type of deal. And I worked there for years.
Okay.
They wholesale distribute adult toys.
And get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but the owner is like different, right? Like first day he comes out, shakes my hand, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. And dude's super respectful, and he's probably like 50 years old, and he's jacked. He's got like a 6-pack. There's like 20 employees, so I start paying attention, right? Like there's a reason that this man conducts himself like this, and he has these things in life. And he kind of just lets me run wild. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm going to change this. Great. Hey, I'm going to change this. Great. Like, he lets me run wild. He pays me good, and he really just fosters me and kind of holds me accountable. And I didn't start leaning on those habits, right? But then like the same thing with the NA and the AA, like the seed was planted. I seen someone operate at a very high level, and I seen what he got out of it, and I was fucking extremely intrigued.
Would you call him a mentor?
Yeah, I would, for sure. Yeah, I can still call him to this day. Like,
did you share with him about your history?
Yeah, he's fully aware, yeah. I'm very open about that. Like, if you're going to judge me based off of that, like...
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking work from you. It's that simple. Like,
Yeah, no, I know for sure. I've been wide open about my entire history, and I built my entire brand off of it. You know, and I think that's important, and that's incredible though. And so you meet this guy, and so you obviously that kind of planted the seed of what? Fitness, health, focus.
Health, fucking journaling, disciplining yourself, just like. There's a reason, like, okay, yesterday I took the kids over to Newport, like Superior and PCH to the park, right? Mm-hmm. beautiful $1 million houses, right? You look around, everyone's fucking jacked and fit. There's a reason for these things. Like, they don't conduct themselves at that level. Like, if you go into the ghetto, most people are probably overweight.
Yeah.
There's a direct correlation there.
You know what's funny? That's absolutely true. It's funny because, you know, I grew up in the Midwest and in a really nice township, you know, where there's a lot of money, and there's a lot of wealthier people, maybe not so much wealthy, but, you know, rich people that are fat, that are out of shape and things like that. Then you go to Newport, and it clouded my vision at first when I got into coaching, because I was like, well, everyone that has the money is already in shape. And then I completely forgot. I was like, wait, everywhere else, they're not.
No.
And yeah, I mean, right where you're talking about, like the gym Freddie and I go to is right there on Superior, or off Superior and 16th. Yep. And you're absolutely right. You go to these like super affluent areas, and it's like such a great place to like show your kids what's possible, because it is. You know, look at a lot of those guys that live up in those neighborhoods that own those houses. A lot of them are in recovery. Oh, absolutely. A lot of them go to the meeting that I go to. Yeah. A lot of them are covered in tattoos. Yeah. You know, you wouldn't think of it. No. But that's a good way to look at it, and a good way to show your kids that, like, it is. How you take care of one thing is how you take care of everything. Yeah, but I think, like, so I got clean, but I didn't get into health or fitness or do anything of that for like 7 years. So for 7 years, I'm clean. I'm not using drugs. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to work. We got our little apartment. We got our little jobs, right? But I'm not fulfilled in any sense of the fucking, like, right, my wife's great, my kids are great, but like deep down inside, like, I know there's more out there. Like, I've always been that fat little fucking chubby kid. Always. Like, a lot of people in my family are fucking fat. So I've never been like Mr. Confidence, and I don't know, one day it fucking, like, I looked at myself in the mirror, and then, like you said, right, like, my kids are not going to listen to what I tell them to do, but they're going to reenact what I show them. And I'm like, fuck, like, I got to really set that. I can't tell you to go chase your dreams and live your life when I go slave away for the next dude, because it's too scary to take the fucking leap of faith. That's not going to get them anywhere. That's not going to show them, like, how far we could, like, yeah, is it scary? And, you know, I might, you know, whatever. Yeah. I got to take the jump. You can't live like that. No, I think a lot of people do, though. It's true. A lot of people, they think based off their feelings and not based off of logic, right? Yeah. And then when fear sets in, they go towards what they think safety is. Yeah. Right? And most of the time, safety is not safety, it's comfort. It is, yeah. But if you just took a moment to realize, like, what's going on and what is the best way to get out of or into a situation, out of the situation you're in and into a situation that you want to be in, it's almost always consistency, resilience, having like your vision set on what you see yourself, and what we practice is your most elite self, right? Yeah. And how when you envision that most elite self, there's no room for fear. There's no room for comfort in that, because you'll never be able to achieve it. So and it's every detail, from your shoes to your job, right? And from your job to your house, to your relationships, to how you make other people feel. You know, and when you can get a vision for what you really want, you're going to find out that whatever your feelings are, even though those may be feelings of, like, want, the feelings that you have are not going to get you there. No, they're not. And you have to have that seed planted. You do. And I think, like, people get really caught up in, like, not knowing where to start or execute on those feelings or the vision, but it's like, it's normally like the little, I hear rich people say it all the time. I don't know exactly which one, but you know, you see all these TikToks and reels that are like, it's not what I did, it's what I didn't do. And like,
that really stands out to me in life. Like, once you cut out all the bullshit, then you got time to do the things that actually move the fucking needle.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's adding by subtracting.
It is. I didn't get that for a long time in life. Like, I mean, it's like 7 years I wasted. Like, I wouldn't call it wasted, right? Like, I was clean or whatever, but like, could I have maximized that time better, and would I be in a different position in life?
I think a lot of guys that do get clean, you know, sobriety becomes their main focus, and that's good. It should be.
Yes.
But there's a difference between not drinking or not using, right? Being sober and thriving. Huge difference.
Yes.
And for some people, and this is okay, and I need anybody watching this, I need you to understand that your life will be better without the substance. There's no question. But the substance wasn't the problem. It's what's going on inside that's the actual problem.
Yep.
Okay? And most of the time, that problem comes from, most of the time. Now, everybody has their own thing and their own reason for why they do this, but for a lot of us, it's we didn't feel like we were enough.
Yeah.
We don't feel comfortable in our own skin, right? We have severe victim mentality.
Yeah.
And then all the other things, codependency, narcissism, the whole other, all the ingredients to the soup that turns us into an addict. And I think when we first get sober, it's like now we have to get comfortable in our own skin. Well, we're not comfortable in our own skin. No. We're never going to be comfortable in our own skin until we actually do the work. And a lot of that work comes from our physical work.
It does, yeah. I think like you say all the time, a million people say, like, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And addicts have a really fucking hard time with that because every time they get uncomfortable, they're out of their shell, so they're going to lean on their substance because they don't want to deal with feelings. Like, they're using drugs to mask their emotions or everything else. The drugs are just the tip of the fucking iceberg.
It's funny you say that, though, because the same exact thing that takes us to getting so fucked up to the point that we're living under a bridge is the same exact resilience, right? The same commitment.
Yeah.
Addicts are the most committed people in the world.
They are. And
like, what did you have? What was? Let me ask you this. What was your most extreme situation when you were going to score?
I mean, robbing people's pretty fucking extreme.
Okay. So full on pulling a gun on somebody to go to score.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember this dude I used to buy drugs from or whatever when I was living on the side of the freeway. The dude in the tent next to us used to buy drugs from this guy also. And he calls the guy. The guy shows up. I don't even know nothing about this. He goes and robs the dude, okay? Next thing I know, I call the guy like, hey, meet me over here. And he's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you're hanging out with that dude who just robbed me or whatever. I'm like, nah, like, I don't got nothing to do with that dude. Like, I'm just trying to not be dope sick. Like, come bring me my fucking dope. He's like, all right, I'll be there. About 10, 15 minutes later, I'm staring down the barrel of a gun from a bunch of Mexicans screaming in fucking Spanish, and I don't know fucking Spanish. And they're like, where is he? I know you had something to do. And they're about to fucking shoot me dead on the side of the fucking freeway. Like, so luckily, there was another guy there who knew Spanish and had dealt with them for many years, and he explained to them that I have nothing to do with this, and then they let us go. But like,
dude, if you have 9 lives, you've blown through a bunch of them, that's for sure.
Like that type of shit, but then like that should be a normal person's rock bottom, right? Like,
well, no, it's not. So earlier I asked, how committed are we?
Oh, I was committed.
Committed.
Yeah.
Right? So as much as it is like, you know, if we can channel our commitment, if we can channel our addiction, if we can like really put in to what created a superpower in us.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I've done some wild stuff to get my fix, but it was always like, you know, party fix, right?
Yeah.
But if that meant like driving completely smashed, all fucked up, blacked out at 4:30 in the morning, sun's coming up, trying to find an elusive drug dealer because they're always elusive at that hour, right?
Yeah.
You're always waiting. You're all, you know. and then that turns into 3 hours later, you're doing the same exact thing, especially with cocaine. But that you can do the same exact thing with your phone.
You can. I think it's
and dialing prospects and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think that like addicts get like society's almost like made them like they're bad or they're behind in life. But like you said, if they can learn to leverage those traits, they are superpowers, right? Like that same grit and grind that got you high every day. Like if you can learn to hone that and then get comfortable being uncomfortable and use those same habits and disciplines for good, for self-betterment, watch the fuck out.
Right. And that's the other thing too, living on the side of the highway, like you should be used to being uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that level of discomfort became your comfort zone.
Yeah, it was.
So now what?
So now I got in, I don't even know why, really, to be honest with you. It's always like that little change that just grows into something that you love. So I signed up for like one of those CrossFit fucking 30-day boot camp things.
So you went straight into to CrossFit.
Yeah, I didn't know no better. I just was like, hey, I need a...
You never worked out before that?
No. Nothing, no. Went straight into like the 30-day like fucking group CrossFit class, and I'm in there dying, just dead, right? Like, and they don't tell you in there, right? Like, it's not like the most ideal sequence. Like, you're likely to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So my back's jacked up. Like, I probably blew a shoulder out, but like,
welcome to fitness.
Yeah. I start seeing some progress, and my wife's going with me at the time.
Oh, cool.
So, like, we're doing it together, you know, we're like, hey, we're gonna get better together. That's like what we've always done. We have, we really hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of couples do that, like, to the level that we do. Like, I'll check her and she'll check me. So we started doing the CrossFit thing, and then it's like a slow progress, and I do that for a little bit, and then I'm like, I don't know if I like it that much, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the YMCA, and then I start doing that and just doing my own research, and then like that style of bodybuilding type of deal,
Progressive overload training.
Progressive overload, yeah, like I start seeing actual progress from it, and then I fall in love with the mental aspect of it, really. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, you know, the muscles are fucking great. Like, don't get me wrong. When you take your shirt off and it does build confidence, you look good and you fucking feel good. But that mental competitive edge that you get when you do that shit, when you don't want to do it, and then that carries over into the rest of your day. And those same disciplines and habits, you go to the gym all you want, but if you don't fucking stop your mouth from eating like shit, you're not going to get any results. And then over time, that played into like, I'm still here for a reason, and I could take these skill sets and apply them to other men who think that, you know, society's banished me, that I have nothing to offer.
Yeah, because I think a lot of guys, they get their get well jobs.
Yeah.
And then they get stuck in their get well job. They might have gotten a couple get well promotions.
Yeah.
Right? But the rest of their life is still just, ugh.
It is. And I don't want to be that fucking like the Walmart doorman, right? Like you said, like the people get comfortable and then like they keep going. Put your money in the fucking bucket. It works if you work it, and all that shit's fucking great. And I have nothing but like, I don't think they push them far enough. They get comfortable in that little loop, like you said. Now they've created almost to me like a new safety zone, and then they have to like keep going there forever instead of like, how can you be the most productive member of society and live to your fullest potential?
It's funny, actually. I've been to meetings with a buddy of mine, Dane, and some people watching this probably remember Dane. Dane used to work for JWX, and he had a really successful coaching business, and he ended up turning this into a totally different. He does debt now. He used his personal brand that we had built, and now he's got a huge debt consolidation company that he built, and he's doing really well. But we would go to this meeting, actually in Seal Beach or Sunset Beach, and he's the funniest guy, super jacked, really like outgoing, and he's got a real graspy voice. You know, he talks like this, right? And we'd be in the meetings, and he'd be like, "You guys all," and he thought he was Andy Frisella. You know, he'd be like, "You guys are all digging Cheeto dust out of your fucking belly buttons," and all these guys are sitting there's like newcomers and stuff. He's like, "You're all fucking fat," and they'd all just be cracking up, right? But every meeting we'd go to, he would leave with like 4 clients. And he would just start building, and he just went straight out of the meetings. And all the time, he'd raise his hand, "Dane, alcoholic, look at you guys." And people would be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I loved it. I thought it was awesome. But I also, I took a chip once. And when I took a chip, I ended up turning this into an ad, because I was like, I did not get sober to be average.
No.
And I didn't get sober to work a normal job. I didn't get sober to be fat, right? I didn't get jacked to not be seen.
Yep.
Right? Like, I want to take this. And then I also want people to understand that we recover out loud.
We do.
For those suffering in silence.
Yeah.
A lot of men are suffering right now, struggling. And maybe it's not a drug addiction. Maybe it's porn. Maybe it's alcohol.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gambling.
I think a lot of men get stuck in that loop. Like you said, it could be a lot of things. And then like they're going to go home and turn on the television and drink their beer and watch their fucking sports, and then attempt to discipline the children, and then, why doesn't my wife have sex with me no more? Or why don't the kids fucking listen to me no more? Like, you don't conduct yourself in a manner that demands those things. And
Correct.
then you wonder why you get none of those things.
Energy is met and matched, right? So like in a relationship with your significant other, if you don't put the energy into yourself, right? And if you constantly show laziness, pity, victim mentality, all of those things, then your wife is going to look at you and be like, "Oh, why would I give him any energy?
Yep.
He doesn't give himself any energy." And she may say that's not the case.
It is.
It is the case. Yeah. It is the case.
It is.
There's no fucking way that a woman could sit there and watch her husband mistreat himself like that.
No.
And be turned on.
No, I mean, and then it's really sad because, like, I think society in general has normalized that shit. Like, that shit is completely normal if you do that. And then when I show up and I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I don't want a beer." Like, "Oh, everyone gets to crack jokes now. It's funny."
Yeah.
Like, I'm the weird one or whatever. But
yeah.
Like,
you're the weird one.
My wife loves me and you look like a slob. So, I mean.
Right. They don't matter anymore.
No.
I'll say it on this podcast. Your wives, they're talking about you. And they talk to me about you. And it's true.
It is.
You hear it all the time. I won't name names, but recently I was in a room with a husband and wife, and it was friendly, funny. It was a good conversation, and I love them both. Great looking people, wonderful people. But she made a joke that was like, "Well, he doesn't have the muscles that you have." And in my heart sank. I'm like, fuck.
Devastating.
Yeah. Right? Like, you don't want to be that guy where your wife is comparing you in front of you to the man that she's comparing you to.
That's brutal.
That is fucking harsh. And these women are doing this to their husbands, but the husbands don't realize that they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah. I think that, like, that's, like, my goal really is to, like, take what I've learned in life and apply it to other men so we could, as a society, like, they say masculinity's toxic. I don't believe that. I think that shit's dead.
No. Masculinity is at the top of the charts now. It's got
no.
There's more credibility. There's more net worth in masculinity than ever before, and everybody agrees. One thing that I became once I got in the best shape of my life, and my significant other and I, or my wife now, right?
Yep.
Once we got in shape, the one thing that I fell in love with, got addicted to, was going on vacations as the fit couple.
Yeah.
Because
she feels good.
Yeah. Because you're naturally going to gravitate and meet other fit couples.
Yep.
And other fit couples that are on vacation, you go to dinner and you're all racing to pay the bill, right? And you see the fat couple with the other fat couples.
Yeah.
At the table down right off to the side where they put the uglies. Because they do that in restaurants.
Oh, absolutely.
They put the uglies over to the side, and then they put the
nice people in the front.
Yeah, they put the hotties right in the middle. And you see them splitting the check, and their napkins are shot, the tablecloth's fucked up, there's drinks everywhere. And it's like, on vacation, you see that so much. The pool.
Yeah.
Fatties are over under, put them under the cabana, under the sun.
Yep.
The fit people are out talking to other fit people. Crazy.
It is crazy. And like, now that you say that, like, I remember being little and going to, like, my mom would take us to Bolsa or Sunset, and I was that little fucking fat kid on my boogie board with my fucking t-shirt on.
Oof.
Yeah, and I didn't fucking like that shit. And now, like, I'll take the kid down to Huntington on Main and I'll walk around with my fucking t-shirt on. Like, I'm proud of what I fucking built. Like, this shit did not happen overnight. Mm-hmm. I look good. I'm confident about it. Like, my kids fucking see it. They like it. And they make sure that they do what, like, they mimic what I do. And I think that, like, men and families in general should really prioritize that. And it should not be like, people got like, oh, you're going to do that diet. Or you're going to eat, like, it's not, it's a fucking lifestyle. It's a way of conducting yourself.
Right.
People misconstrue it.
100%. So let me ask you this. Why get into coaching? I mean, you pretty much answered it all the way along, but what's your main why?
My main why is to help other men who have not reached their peak in life, right? That's... For many years, I fucking spun my wheels when I didn't have to spin my wheels. Like, I could apply those disciplines, and what took me 7-10 years, we could do with another person in a year, in a few months. And then that person's gonna go out and he's gonna tell his buddies, and his buddies are gonna tell his buddies. And if we collectively do that, that's what's gonna make society a better fucking place.
Stronger,
and the
man.
world needs more of that.
I love that. This is really cool. I'm so glad you're out here now.
It's great.
I'm so glad you're out here now.
I fucking love it. Like, moving to Huntington in general was literally like, I drive down the fucking street and, like, I live Lakewood, Long Beach. Like, it's fucking dirty. It's nasty. Like, it's nice here. I love it. Like you said, the things you do, the people, right? Like the clothes, the cars, how you view yourself, how you conduct yourself. That shit all is giant.
It's reality.
It is reality, and manifestation is fucking real. And if you think that you're not worth none of those things, then you're never gonna fucking have any of those things. And it is fucking scary, and you have to force yourself, right? Like to get comfortable with it. But if you show up day in and fucking day out, and you just don't fucking quit, and you don't say no when you're fucking tired and you're sick or whatever, and you just put one foot in front of the other, eventually you'll get what the fuck you want in life.
I love that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like what you see, make sure you click subscribe. We're going to put all of JT's information down below so you can find him easily. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, all the other good stuff. We'll catch you next time. We are out of here.